So I was kind of right and kind of wrong. I was kind of right because the members of Brad's group did get more bargaining power than I think it would have been had Cerie's group not turned on Zeke. But I was also kind of wrong in that Brad's group didn't really stick together, albeit it was just one person leaving. But also, Michaela, I didn't really see her, going off and doing her own thing because that whole thing seemed kind of sudden to me. Yeah, I mean, like, Michaela, throughout her entire Survivor tenure, last season and this season, has demonstrated that she's a little bit of a loner, but is perfectly willing to work with people. It's just, her personality in this situation doesn't totally click, even though as Philip and Coach have demonstrated, people do end up, acting a certain way on the show that is not entirely how they behave in real life, right? Even though Coach was actually closer to a real life because I do believe that Philip overplayed himself in Redemption Island, yeah. Okay, so jumping into it, we again have the honesty theme repeated, where everyone confesses how they voted at the tribal, and Ty realizes his alliance turned on him. But what annoyed me was that he didn't really get a real confessional on that issue. Now, it could be that there was a secret scene that I missed, but I don't know, just he didn't really talk about it, which to me was a little bit of a bummer, if you ask me, because if anyone, turns on someone in that alliance and you expect them to be hurt, it probably would be Ty because Troyzan and Brad, you can see why they would turn on them, and Sierra, we've had her name being thrown around for pretty much the entire season as someone to be worried about, except this time there was a lot more credibility to that idea, even though Dalton Ross argues she didn't do that much. I'll bring that up later, right? So yeah, it was just a bummer that he didn't talk about it. That annoying, right? Then we move on to the reward challenge. I might be forgetting something at camp, but I think everything that happened at camp got reinforced between the challenges and after immunity, so we don't need to worry about that. And I was originally thinking that what team was it? The blue team had an edge because given how they had smaller people, it would be easier for them to get under that log, and then handle the situation. But of course, I forgot about Brad being a football player on his arm. And so once the red team got to there, and then you start seeing him get ready to throw the stuff, I'm like, okay, we know who's winning. Time to move on now. Right. But the atmosphere that they had going on before the reward challenge, that was nice. Everyone got their moment, to be with their loved one. It reinforced a couple of things, that have changed in the game, because we had Monica, a player coming back as a loved one, but it truly was, a player coming back as a loved one, unlike Kelly's dad and Jeremy's wife, because well, they were, players, but playing off another player as a loved one, so it wasn't entirely the same, if you ask me, yeah. Then we had little moments like, Cirie, compared to when she was on the show for the first time, and then here you get the idea her kids, have grown up a lot. Andrea revealing that she actually had a sister that she lost when she was younger. That was nice, but they do kind of gloss over it, yeah. Just little moments like that. Oh yeah, and Troy Zan got to get his loved one visit, which he stated last time was the one thing he missed from his Survivor experience, because he missed it by one episode like Andrea did in Caramon, although in hindsight I think that was actually a good thing for her. Yeah. So that was a good atmosphere, although they didn't have to rush it, which I find to be a little unfortunate these days, yeah. Because given how they have to rush it, these connection things mean a little bit less, which is a bummer. Yeah. So not much to talk about on the actual reward because, well, not that much happened, and the choices for the reward, I honestly cannot comment on them that much, to be honest. It's just who they chose, really. I mean, like, Sarah does make sense given how she seems to be in the middle of things, but, yeah. Then we get the industry dynamic of a Michaela and Ty teaming up, and I thought that that would be kind of interesting, but as the episode panned on and Ty didn't really talk about it that much, I began to sense that there was a bit of a weakness in this situation. Now, I did agree with Choizan and Sierra as they were talking, give them an opportunity to try and work them and see if they can get some new footing in this game, which was indeed possible, right? But again, like with when last time when Sarah was trying to figure out if she was going to vote someone off of Brad's group or vote Zeke out. There wasn't enough talking to the right kind of people, although this time they did kind of manage to make it blend in enough, but yeah, it's just odd with this, because like maybe I'm not paying as much attention to everyone as I should, but it seems like we get times where people aren't being featured for a while, being minor, and then they come out as being more major. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're going to say, well, that's the case for tons of people in the history of the show. Some people, there isn't anything to hear from them for a while. And I agree, okay, but this time it just feels odd because, when the merge started, we were getting quite a good amount of confessionals from Suri indicating that she had one heck of a plan. Well, what happened to that? Because I can't remember the last time Suri, actually was trying to make a huge move. Now, I did hear little bits about, her and the designated Sarah as Officer Sarah, so that's something, but it's like she's been replaced, that kind of a thing. So, it's kind of getting to me. It's like Michaela, she was invisible for a while, now she's getting featured again. And Choizan, he's dropped down to Aubrey's level, except Aubrey's been at this level like pretty much the whole game, for crying out loud. Yeah, I guess I was wrong in that prediction. She's not going to make it to the end again. She probably will make it to the end, but she can't win this game, just, yeah. Although, I'll admit, to be fair, as I stated, her gameplay compared to that streak of winners that happened before her season wasn't that high, so maybe this is a good comparison bit. Right. So that immunity challenge, I didn't feel too much going on, but like after I think Sierra dropped, I began to think more and more, hang on a minute. They were arguing earlier that they wanted to get rid of Sierra or Brad. And now that Sierra's out, why do I suddenly have a feeling that Brad is going to win this, even though he's struggling? I think there's actually a decent chance he could. I began to doubt that theory a little bit when it came down to him and Ty, but sure enough, Brad ended up managing to beat Ty, so that kind of sealed the deal. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about Sierra revealing to Sarah that she had the legacy advantage. I honestly could go either way in terms of do I think it was a good idea to talk about that advantage, but talking about the ability to will it to somebody, yeah, that totally did her in, because if you have the ability to give it to somebody and give them an advantage, yeah, play nice to them and then get the advantage for yourself, which is exactly what Sarah did. Yeah. Totally. And like, even though Brad's group was trying to put the spotlight on Andrea again, I didn't really feel like there was that much momentum behind that until I got to the tribal, to be honest. And like, as they were getting up to vote, I paused it for like a whole minute, trying to weigh the pros and cons of what was going on in everyone's minds, and I came to the conclusion that Sierra was doomed, but this time I saw like no way for her to get out of it. Like there was no real other opportunity, just, yeah. So after several times of me thinking that she was doomed, she finally ends up getting voted out. Yeah, I was definitely a bit bummed by that, but the thing was, I would have been a bit bummed to see Andrea go too, even though I have been campaigning against just someone in these videos, because I don't hate her, it's just that I don't feel like her edit has really justified the bit of her being as a threat, even though everyone has been indicating that the game she's been playing here has been pretty similar to how it's been in Kara mode, and I fully agree with that bit, because like after she won that immunity, I think it was the second. Well, after she won a immunity, she started behaving the same way. Yeah. I wonder what Concord thought about that. Right. So, that's that. So, thoughts on Sierra here. Well, Jeff was right. She definitely ended up being a dark horse, but it was the wrong season. Thank you for that, Jeff. Why did I trust that guy? Right, but yeah, I'm glad she came back. She managed to reinvent herself like Andrea did, ironically. Now, Dr. Ross argues that she didn't actually do that much, and I do feel like, in terms of edit, there wasn't really too much. It's just that after Brad started naming her as his lieutenant, so to speak, we all just regarded her in the same way. But her name got thrown around a lot, and the last time she was on the show, there definitely were some mentions about her as, having the ability to conjure relations or not have problems with other people. Yeah. And she did execute quite a decent amount of control in this game, even though, to be fair, Brad did help her, right? But a lot of people help out a lot of other people on the show. I mean, for crying out loud, Carol, they were playing off each other all the time, although, to be fair, given how they wiped out all but one of the competition, yeah. But still, though, good on her. Although I'll admit, though, given how the producers have set this season up for a long series of rapid-fire eliminations, because they got to vote out 5 people in 6 days, it doesn't feel like as huge of an accomplishment, because even though she's 32 days in, by all rights, there should be 2 less people right now, under usual circumstances, so... But at the same time, what am I complaining about? She got pretty far in both of her seasons, so good on to her. Right. So, heading into the next episode, well, first of all, Brad, he's doomed. There's no way this guy can save himself. He can get through the first vote, but vote number 2, he's gone. No question about that. And I really would not be too surprised if an idol comes up next episode, because I think it's gone on long enough. Now, Ty, I don't think anything's going to happen to him, but he's definitely going to have to do something next episode, I think, because he's not the type that can totally sit still long enough. It's just that something needs to happen to this guy. It's kind of like Michaela, except it's different. Because she's explosive emotionally, more on the anger bit. Ty, it's more like the stress level. Kind of like, kids have outbursts of emotion, right? Memories. Well, I dragged that on a couple more minutes than I wanted to, but yeah. See you next time.